Hey everyone, it's Drew here again with another Carowinds review. This time we're going to go over what to expect when you go to Carowinds for either the Scarowinds event or the Great Pumpkin Fest event. So let's begin with general tips. The first general tip is to go on a rainy day. Most of the coasters will still be going as long as it isn't downpouring. It'll cut the attendance to a fifth of what it would have been. Saturdays always have a higher volume of people. Sundays in general will be much tamer. For the Great Pumpkin Fest, to have an even better time on Sundays, arrive at opening, as people will still be in church, but after 12, you'll notice that the crowds will grow exponentially. Another tip involving Sunday is to go when there is a Carolina Panthers game on, especially if it's a home game. This draws locals away from the park, allowing you to enjoy Carowinds. The best tip I can provide is to buy the Fast Lanes Plus, especially if you have to go on a Saturday. The Fast Lane Plus allows you to get in the fast lane at any attraction, including the big coasters, unlike the standard fast lane. This saves hours of waiting in line and lets you ride about 5 times what you would have, trading 2.5-hour waits for 15-minute waits or less. The Fright Lane is similar, but it only allows you to use the Fast Lane for the 5 Scarowind mazes. These both sell out, so buy these ahead of time if you're planning on going. Fast Lane Plus ranges in price, but on Saturdays they are $90 and you can add the Fright Pass for another $60. This cost sounds expensive, but you'll actually get to enjoy the park instead of waiting in lines the whole time. The price is cheaper on Sundays, being $80 for Fast Lane Plus and $45 for Fright Lane, and on Fridays $73 for Fast Lane Plus and $50 for Fright Lane. Now on to the events, starting with the Great Pumpkin Fest. The Great Pumpkin Fest is an homage to the Peanuts movie. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. All of Carowinds will be spooky, but not quite scary. All the decorations for Scarowinds will still be out, but the actors will not be working, nor will there be fog or other added elements. It's the perfect time to bring your kids, especially since they can choose their own pumpkin to take home in Camp Snoopy. This event is held every Saturday and Sunday in October from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The wait times on Saturday are among some of the worst of the year. Since Carowinds isn't open during the week, and with how kid-friendly the event is, the waits are going to be bad. Expect most rides, especially those that younger children can ride, to have waits over 30 minutes. Copperhead Strike usually has the longest line in the park due to the new factor, reaching about an hour to occasionally 2 hours. Parking usually will be close to full, and hopefully they'll start letting people park in the new section of parking near the front, outside of Scarowinds, which we'll get into later. Now on to Scarowinds. Scarowinds is held every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in October between 7 p.m. and 12 a.m. with the exception of 2 Saturdays, the 19th and 26th, which Scarowinds will be open from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Scarowinds is the busiest time of the year. The parking lot will be packed, including the newly added parking sections. They open Southgate, which is always a sign that they are going to be extremely busy. There are long lines for Vortex. Let me say that again. There are long lines for Vortex. Getting a parking spot can sometimes take upwards of 30 minutes. Ride waits for non-coasters are always 30 minutes or more, usually closer to the hour-plus mark. I would not recommend trying to ride Copperhead Strike or other slower loading coasters, as lines can easily be 2 hours or more. An example of how bad it gets, Fury 325 had its line queue completely full, and then it extended all the way to the entrance to Hurler. The fast lane had a wait of 15 minutes for Fury and Copperhead. Each year, Scarowinds breaks the yearly daily attendance record. The positive is the atmosphere is great, and honestly, I sometimes go just to walk around. Each of the sections of the park are very well done, and the actors do a great job. You'll get a lot of laughs out of people screaming in horror. I've seen quite a few people jump like cats in it, and it always brings a smile to my face. The mazes can range from 10 to 40-minute waits. The longest I've had this year was at Dark Harvest, being about 35 minutes, with the shortest line being at Silver Scream Studios, Condemned, which only had a wait of 15 minutes. My recommendation is to go for the atmosphere and mazes, or pay for the Fast Lane Plus and or Fright Lane, because otherwise you'll get to ride maybe 3 coasters the whole night. I will say, when you do get to ride one of the big coasters, appearing and disappearing between the fog as you go up and down the hills with the warm air rushing by you under the moon, it really is something. So guys, do you still plan to go to these events? If you have gone, do you agree with me about the crowds? Tell me in the comments about your experiences at the Great Pumpkin Fest and at Scarowinds. I'd love to hear it. If you've got recommendations on topics you'd like for us to cover, I'd also love to hear that. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.